Like, how can they be there when we're not even there?
I don't know. Sitting there patiently waiting for us to show up,
Right.
strumming.
Yeah. Well, hello there, who's not there, but you will be there eventually.
I
You'll be
think maybe it
there.
was, yeah, I think maybe it was Liz.
But we weren't even there. How can you be there? I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. But I'm like totally girl crushing on LeAnne today. I think she looks so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I love the top hair thing. Oh my god, you look like an empress. You perfect for tonight. For
Oh, thank
Mr. Solstice.
you. Oh, there's Liz. Liz is here.
Hi, Liz.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi,
how are you,
darling.
darling? I'm so glad you're here tonight to share the special day with the special
I'm
evening.
so glad that you are too.
Yeah. We had a lot of trouble getting on.
It
Um
was like glitch after glitch.
yeah. So I went on Instagram. I used these earbuds with all the adapters and everything to try to get on. It worked on Instagram. I tested it earlier. And then when I tried to go live on Instagram, it was like device will not work. And like I got a little pop-up and I was like, what the heck? It was fine before. You're just messing with me. Who else is here? Meredith.
Meredith. Hi,
Oh, I'm so glad.
Meredith.
I'm so glad
Hey,
you've been able to
sisters
make
out
it
here.
because she's traveling. She's gonna be traveling. Not now. She's gonna be. We're
Oh,
all busy, and she's gonna be busy tomorrow. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but because it's not my
it's
knowledge.
not your story.
It's not my story.
No, but it was so funny. Like you went live on Instagram, and at first it kind of clicked in, and I could hear you, and I said, "Yeah, I can hear you." And then all of a sudden, just like that, it was gone. And then you were just talking away and talking
Yeah.
away. And I'm like, I can't hear you. And it's so frustrating because I'm so used to doing this that I'm like, I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, I'm talking to you, and you're like, I'm like, she can't see me.
Right.
So I'm trying to text. It's like, it's
I
not working.
I can hear you through my phone. I'm not hearing you through this. Are you hearing me through here?
Mhm.
I'm wondering if I'm actually connected. Does
Well,
my
I can hear you clearly.
do I sound better than usual? Mirror,
You
mirror
sound
on the wall. Who's the best
you
sound Stevie of them all?
you sound really good to me.
Oh, good.
Nice
Good.
and
Because
clear.
last live, I was like, ooh, that's not good.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought you sounded fine. Um,
Oh, good. Okay. Meredith says, leaving tomorrow. I think I have a handle on things. Yes, good. Maybe we gave.
Good, loud and clear. Okay, thank you, Liz. I hear you
Oh,
both. Thank you, Meredith.
woohoo. Thank you, Liz.
Okay, good. Leaving
So good.
tomorrow. Oh, I
Yay.
always want to be leaving. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm kind of a homebody. I'm going to be leaving in a couple days, and I don't want to be leaving, but I will be leaving. But I will have my whole home with me. I'll have my dogs and my husband and everything. So
Yeah,
it's okay.
that's, yeah,
But,
that's always
yeah.
good.
Okay. So Michael is starting the Yule Fire.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's such
That's
a sweetheart.
cool.
Yeah, we should see the glow pretty soon. But or I should see the glow pretty soon. But I cleared it all out, cleared all the leaves and everything. If you were on Instagram, you might have seen
Mm-hmm.
some do you might have seen me do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's gonna start the bonfire just for the two of us. But it got dark before I can clean up all the dog poo, so hopefully none of us step in it. It's really dark out there. It's like super dark.
You always want to be leaving. I'm a homebody too. Oh no, I love going. I love going. It's like, ooh, where can we go? Yeah. Mm.
Behind there, my children. Who's
Welcome.
a Yule fire in the woods, kind of set the tone. We'll hang out with the ancestors and all of that. It'll be really fun. I think it will be fun. And
Mhm.
Leanne is going to um, guide it, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Yule. So we're going to probably do that before we do anything else, and then later, well, actually, when we go out to the Yule fire, we'll have an opportunity um, to burn our grievances and forgivenesses into the Yule fire. But we'll actually plan that ahead of time. We can, if you want to, burn your grievances or forgivenesses, and Leanne will explain that later because I'm not very good. You can tell me, and I'll write them down, and then I will burn them in our Yule
Toss
fire.
them in the fire.
I'll toss them in the fire, or you can keep it to yourself. Oh, we lost
Mhm.
a person. Or you can keep it to yourself and flush it
Mhm.
down the toilet, whatever you want to do.
Exactly. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, always have fun once I get there. It's the prep and getting there. That's yes, I know. I know. It's how I
It is.
feel
It's a lot.
too.
Yeah. I always try and tell myself when I'm packing and going somewhere, I
Mhm.
always tell myself I can always get what I forget when I get there. Like if I forget
Yeah,
underwear or I forget toothpaste or,
that's true.
it's just like I can always get it when I get there. So it just
Yeah.
kind of calms me down. So, but I'm a list maker. I just make tons of lists like this and this and this. So I
I
very
kind of
rarely miss the stuff. So,
I kind of make lists too. Like everything is
yeah.
yeah. Do I go back and consult the list? Not always, but I always
Not
make
at
yeah.
least you initially make them, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
like when I pack, if I'm packing for a trip about a week before, I will put everything in categories and like everything that I need to bring. And
mhm.
yeah, I write everything down. Yeah. I'm a big planner, Like when I do a
Mhm.
recipe, even if I'm experimenting, I write a recipe down first. I like
That's
imagine,
impressive.
huh?
That's impressive because I do not when it comes to recipes. So when anybody asks me, "Oh," or like says, "Oh, that's really good. Can I get the recipe?" I'm like, "No," because I have no idea what I put in it. I mean, like
Yeah.
I can, but I can't give you measurements and stuff.
No, it's
And
hard. Like
it's different every
example.
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't even want to I actually want to with my channel and when I do recipes, I want to do more creative cooking, just kind of like
Mhm.
on the fly cooking. I
Mhm.
think that's what I'm going to do because that's where my joy is. And I don't think I'm for people who are really recipe based. I think I'm more, for people like Liz, who's also a creative cook, and you're a creative cook. Like just
Mhm.
kind of more
Taste as you
people
go.
taste as you go, and people who already have an understanding of how to cook. I think
Yeah.
those are actually my people. You know, I'm not really for the people who, are like, I just need to make pad thai tonight. I
Yes,
don't
exactly.
like
And they
those.
have their scale out and they have all their measuring
Yeah.
cups and it's just like, "Oh, that's too much for
Yeah.
me." Food
Yeah.
would not happen if that was what I had to do.
Yeah, like, I just wanna inspire people, give people ideas, and, when you cook, on the fly, when it's, like, creative cooking, it gives you an opportunity to actually give a lot of tips too. "I do this because of this. I do this because
Mhm.
of this."
Yeah,
They're all
exactly. Like you said, the last time you made something and you had too much salt in it and you're just like, I think it was too much salt. Was it too much salt or it was no, 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 no,
probably
no. It was too sour.
too sour.
It was too
Add
sour.
sugar.
So you
You
add a little bit of sugar.
sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's too salty, you might add more potato. You increase the volume, or
Mhm. Exactly.
or sometimes you just put it in the fridge and wait till the next day. If there's, like, potatoes and stuff like that, they will
It'll
also
just absorb and pull it
yeah.
out.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
potatoes and everything will be marinated, and it's wonderful.
Exactly. Mhm. It's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, good. Yeah. That's me too. Yeah. Elizabeth says, "I love cooking with creative intent." Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
we keep losing someone. I don't know who the third person is. Maybe it's
I don't know.
a person. Probably just some guy who sometimes I accidentally get onto people's lives and I'm like, "Whoa, how did I get here?" You know?
Did not mean to do that. I
Yeah.
know. It always panics me when I accidentally click on Instagram. It's like, "No, I don't wanna be on there.
Yeah.
I'll watch it later."
Right. Right. Okay, so we're gonna be doing the guided. Let's. Should we talk about Yule a little bit?
Sure, let's do that.
So I was trying to do a lot of research on Yule, and I'm to be frank, I'm just completely overwhelmed. I'm just overwhelmed. There's just too much. There's just,
Mhm.
I mean, winter solstice is celebrated all over the globe. It's completely global. Every
Mhm. Right.
I didn't grow up with anything. I just knew that she was. We did some, early neo-pagan stuff, which is neo-paganism has really expanded. It has evolved, and it has much more depth than I was exposed to,
Okay.
way back when, I
Mhm.
think. There's just so much more. So I'm I'm not totally equipped at this moment to talk that much about it, but I'm am on a journey to learn more, and I will be putting some resources down in the show notes tonight because I've
Perfect.
been listening to a bunch of podcasts to get prepared, like a lot. Like I've been trying to prepare, but it's just it's it's
There's a
out of
lot to it.
it's too much. It's like too much. I've
Right.
seen how much there is, and some of it is myth. There's so much that is kind of not true. uh, you know, there's because you have to understand with these stories, they were repaved by the conquerors, like by
Mhm.
colonialists and whatever. So there's a lot that we don't really know. I'm a big believer in creating your own traditions. I mean, with what works, you know.
Yeah. 'Cause I think that's the thing is like you can get really caught up in all of the history and the meaning and
Mhm.
everything, or you can just take it as something that's just very simple that you can, like you said, define yourself and find rituals and traditions
Yeah.
that are meaningful to you,
Mhm.
right? That maybe align with some of the information that you learn. But,
Yeah.
like I think it's just like, it I don't know, I guess you could look at it as like Christmas or Halloween,
Yeah.
like you don't really have to go too terribly in depth unless you really, really want to.
Right.
But I mean, I sent you that little bit and you reposted it on your stories that I
Mhm.
had found Lita Pavlova Magic. And she had a little write up underneath those slides that you had put up. So I
Mhm.
just copied and pasted it on my computer so I could read it here, if
Oh,
if
good.
that's
I'm so
okay.
glad. Yeah.
So it says Yule is a pagan festival celebrating the winter solstice, the longest night of the year in the northern hemisphere, which ironically it happens to be my husband's birthday today, and he always talks about being born on the man's darkest hour because it's the shortest day, daylight
Yeah.
hours, depending on your local time zone.
He's your
Winter
Holly
solstice,
king.
yeah. Winter solstice is presumably the most ancient festival in the northern hemisphere. It was a crucial event for prehistoric people, and it established itself in culture as ancient Roman
Patrick,
Saturnalia,
I think Saturday.
Saturnalia,
Yeah.
and Celtic Yule or later Christmas. Let's see how we can celebrate today, my dear witches. By the way, a traditional remark about seasonal magic. This is what's happening in the northern hemisphere now. And if you're in a southern hemisphere, it's more logical to celebrate Litha, also a
Yeah.
great holiday. And I'll share a post. And anyways, she goes on and talks a little bit more. And then I also what other oh, and then the ritual of the pine cone that I had shared with you.
Oh, that's such a cute ritual.
Isn't that such a cute ritual?
Yeah.
So
So
I'll
she shared
share that.
with me. So what you do is you take a pine cone and then you write. I'm trying to remember. You write. Oh, I can't remember. You write. Put
All your
you
wishes for 2024.
you wishes. Okay, good. Yeah, wishes for 2024. And you take a candle and you like dip the paper in the wax of the candle and you stick them into the scales of the pine cone.
Yeah, you roll the paper up into like a little tube and then you put it into
And
the
then
pine cone.
so all your wishes stay in that little pine cone and then you burn it the next year. It's kind of like a
Well, they
if you
say at half year at the next solstice. So in June, on June 20th, you burn it in a bonfire. Um, and then with this, you give those wishes that are still unfulfilled the powerful boost of energy to go out and be fulfilled. So I thought
are you
that was
going to do it?
I think so. I like that.
I have so many pine cones in my yard. Of course I'm doing it. It's so good.
I know, right? You got them everywhere. Thank you, Meredith. I will let him know
Yeah.
that you said happy birthday. That's so nice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways,
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. Yeah, it's so what I learned about Yule is that well, it's a time, the festival, the 12-day festival. It's a
right.
time when people kind of reflect upon the year, the past,
Hmm.
but it's also they're creating the next year. They're manifesting. They're it's almost like the law of attraction kind of stuff. Like they are partying and they're eating up their stores. Maybe not all their stores, but they're showing faith that the light
Right.
will come back and that, the next year will be prosperous. They're showing faith by actually enjoying life and, you know, feasting and drinking the mead and all of that. So it's kind of like I've been doing that too. I mean, I've been eating a lot of comfort food
You're
and
drinking a lot of mead there, Stevie.
not the mead, but the wine and the
That's the
ale.
wine.
Just not a lot, but I'm not like holding back because remember in the previous enjoy. I'm all about comfort and joy. I don't want to like drink till I'm uncomfortable or eat until I'm uncomfortable. I want the
Hmm.
joy within the realm of comfort. If that
That's
makes sense.
perfect. It does. It
Yeah.
makes absolute sense. That's very good.
Yeah. And yeah, so yeah, it's like okay, so one pagan holiday that I always love to celebrate, and people really don't that much, but it's in bulk, which will be February 2nd. It's
Mm.
also Groundhog's Day, and it's when people celebrate the coming of the light, which is actually very similar to what's happening now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so to me, it's almost like the same holiday, but this one is kind of bolstered by Christmas, and everybody's got the lights. Everybody's kind of or whatever on the same page in some ways in terms
Yeah.
of comfort and joy and celebrating the light
Yeah.
and being more. maybe,
Mhm.
um, and really thinking about of or deciding what they want to let go of in the new year. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna explore more about it because I mean, I know that there is certain like goddesses and stuff associated gods, including Jesus, you know. Like
There
if
you
you know,
go.
I mean, I don't know. If you, like I'm kind of getting off the rails,
It's
but
all
there's
good.
some pagans who celebrate with the Christian pantheon.
Mm.
Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so there's like some pagans who consider like Jesus to be the and they can emit renewal of the earth, you know,
Mhm.
going from winter into the return of the light. It's very
Mhm.
convoluted. There's like just layers and layers of narrative upon narrative that it gets really,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It's like there's myth,
Mhm.
but then there's like maybe the real story, and then there's like I don't know. So it gets very convoluted.
I think the hard thing is that nobody really knows exactly what the real story is,
No,
because you know, it's like we talk about the Bible being it's like a game of telephone, how like you have like you whisper in the person's ear next to you what the person before you said, but sometimes you get and then by the end of
yeah,
that's line of telephones, it says something completely different because so many of the scriptures and so many of the stories were word of mouth. They weren't written down, and so
right,
there isn't a lot of viable sources that can confirm that these actually happen. So most of it is myths and legends, based on certain truths, but we don't know exactly what those exact truths are, right? And I mean, and there's always been in all societies and all um, countries and nation countries and people groups, and a desire and a need to connect with a higher source or something. There's got to be something bigger than us. So you can see where they can kind of get, mixed in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just be like this, like ancestors. It could just be ancestors. The
Yeah.
ancestors are the greater part of your story. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the larger part of your story. It's just you exist in that story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah. I like that.
yeah. It could be a lot of things. The greater than can be so many things, but I do think that it's important to have some kind of grand narrative, something bigger than you, so it's not just like
Yeah.
it's just me, you know.
Yeah, it's it's
It's
it's
just
it's a hard thing, like when you're coming out of Christianity and you're reassessing all of this. Like I'm so hesitant to connect myself to anything,
right.
because after you've been so um, entrenched in something, and then you finally dig yourself out, then
I
you
don't know.
you start looking around and you're just like, okay, there's a lot of trenches around here. I don't want to fall into another
Yeah,
one. So you're very cautious. Like I'm very cautious. I won't align with another religion or people or a belief that is polarizing. Like I will dabble in something and kind of still weigh stuff out and go, oh, that's interesting, right? But I'm not going to align with it.
yeah,
Like I'll like I said, I'll entertain it and kind of go, oh, that's interesting. Or I might take a little bit of a look down it, and then it's like, nope, 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 nope. Because it just triggers too much, right? When you've
Yes.
been in such a high control and like I said, very entrenched and deep set of
Yeah.
beliefs, and you're like it's very narrow, right? They pride themselves on it being very narrow. So
Yeah.
me opening myself up and just even, considering, celebrating or, learning a little bit about winter solstice and paganism and stuff like that is wonderful. But again, it's just like, oh, I'll just take a little, like
Yeah.
a little snack size,
Well,
taster.
it's nature based. It doesn't have to be anything else but nature. And
Yeah.
and you like consider that the people who celebrated it were agrarian folk. Their lives depended on
Right.
the seasons. Like they didn't have subsidized crops.
No.
Like everything
No,
depended
they
on
didn't
the
have greenhouses. They didn't have, refrigeration. Except in the winter, depending on where they were.
they were desperate. They were clutching at straws.
Yeah,
They would anything,
yeah,
to make it better. There was nothing else that they could do. They couldn't invest wisely. Like, you know what I mean? They couldn't work harder. They were at the mercy.
sorry.
Is some
Yes, it's Sam that's listening to his messages, but he doesn't have it. He's got it on really loud for all to hear. Sorry. He's like, I don't know why it did that. He's listening to his
Happy
birthday
birthday,
messages, so
Sam.
we won't give him too much of a hard time.
Happy birthday to you.
He can't hear anything, but
Oh,
I'm
okay. Oh,
listening to
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, like, yeah, the whole solstice and everything, these were very, like well, also, it was a point on their farmers' a point on their almanac, their planting like, their whole
Exactly. Yeah.
and even in some I can't remember which ones, I read it a while back, but, there I think in the Roman calendar who was it? In one there's been several calendars, but
Hmm.
in the but there is one Roman calendar and probably several others where the actual winter months are just taken out. There's just no winter. It's just an off period because there's nothing growing. There's nothing you can do farming wise. It's just a dead period, which is why um, October. You speak Spanish, so oct actually
Don't.
correlates to 8, not 10,
Yes.
right?
Well, I learned oct more from Latin, and
Yeah,
right, because it's like,
and
yeah, like an
December will correlate
octopus.
10, right?
Yeah.
And then it
Yeah.
just stops right there. Um, but there's 12 months, but that's because the other 2 months, like, dead zones. They were just like dead zones.
Interesting.
Then it began again with January for the god Janus.
Right.
And then February, yeah, then started with like Roman gods, but there were 2 other months. Well, now I'm getting confused, but no, 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 and
I'd help if I
but
could, but I don't know.
why, that's why the months correlate with the Latin name.
Yes. Yeah,
Why
exactly.
October, Tentober, is the eighth month, and
Yeah.
yeah, and November should be 9, but it's the not.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
know it, but
No.
everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of politicians, Democrats and Republicans, are part of this family. Um, and I've only watched the two shows,
Mhm.
but there's a house where these young chosen men live in, and they are dedicated to Christianity. But it's not really Christianity, it's just Jesus. It's not even the whole
I
Bible.
think maybe I have seen it. Is it kind of a slightly a documentary?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, I have seen it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they're told that they're chosen and they're being groomed for leadership, and they simplify it very much. It's just Jesus. It's not about anything else. It's really just Jesus. And there's this guy named Dan Coe, who is the kind of the facilitator of it all, and he has
Mhm.
this vision that, in order to have this movement with a lot of people, there's got to be a big invisible portion of it. So these boys are part of the
Mhm.
invisible portion of it, and
Mhm.
they live like in this house where well, they actually live in another house, but they take care of this big house where all these politicians come to have like secret talks.
Mhm.
And this Dan Coe is present at all of them, and he keeps talking about this whole thing like it's just you just gotta get people to connect with Jesus. And it's not even like an idea. It's just like that. It's just Jesus. We create a covenant around this belief, and we all like are brothers in arms, and it's very macho, and they're like,
Mhm.
they encourage a very masculine.
This is all in evangelical Christianity because
Yes.
it's so patriarch like it's such a
Mhm.
high patriarchy, and
Yeah.
that is something that was very much promoted in evangelical Christianity too. That it's just like, oh yeah, it's all about Jesus and you need to remain pure, and these are connections, and we need to get everybody strategically placed in all, they call it the seven mountains, um,
Oh.
of society. So you're talking politics, you're talking family, you're talking
Yeah.
entertainment, um, and I can't remember all seven of them, but they're the seven mountains of influence, and we were taught that growing up.
Yeah.
So, promise keepers, yeah,
Yeah. The
exactly.
Promise Keepers are part of this.
Yeah.
They've
And
kept
promise keepers
mentioning.
where all the men get
Yeah.
together and they learn how to be good husbands and how to, run their households, and um,
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, it's
And there's a
all creepy.
girls too, and they're being bred to be, you know, good, obedient wives to these politician men who are going to be bred into to bred leaders. But the people who go to this, oh no, I keep freezing up.
It's okay. It's kind of funny to hear Leanne respond to her while Stevie is present. Carry
Because you're
on.
doing it so fluidly, I don't even know. How funny. Oh
Oh, wow. This is like Stevie and Leanne's comedy
god.
hour.
um,
But yeah, I mean, like the women, we're taught to be like, we're the help meet, because
yes,
that's what
to help me.
Eve help meet,
Yeah,
because we were created from Adam and to meet a need in Adam's life. So that's what women were, is that we're the help meet. And it's just like, we're not,
yeah.
anyways, we're chattel.
Which is funny because if you actually look at DNA, like chromosomes, like the XY, the Y chromosome is actually an atrophied version of the X chromosome. They are
Exactly.
less of us. They're us, but a little less, a
Exactly.
lot
But a
less.
little
Actually,
less.
a lot less. That
Just a
chromosome
little less.
is only like 10% full. I mean, it's
Exactly. So,
okay.
hey, Stevie, seeing that we're cutting up and everything, how about if I do this guided
Sounds
meditation? Because
good.
it's not going to take too long.
Yeah, and you
Do you
want
want
to
to
get
do that now?
Sam, yeah, because
Yeah, and that was
it
the
needs
other
to
thing.
her birthday was Sam, his birthday.
Yeah. I mean, he had a long day today. He got home, we stuffed our food in our mouths, and then I got on here. So I
Yeah,
kind of want to just
sure.
spend a little bit of more time with him. So I'll do
Totally.
this guided meditation, and then I'm going to, oh, that's my husband. He's getting a birthday phone call. Sorry for that.
It's okay.
Anyways,
We're happy for him. We're
it's
happy.
life. It's life. So, is that good? Is everybody good with my doing this little guided
I,
meditation? Okay, and I'm not going to take credit for it. I rewrote a little bit at the very beginning just to get us into the meditation, but Stevie put all of this together, and then she has so graciously allowed me to read it.
oh,
So, Sam and I have studied meditation and done meditations, and I read through it, and I'm just like, there's no need to, you know, um, redo this because it's beautiful. It's more of a visualization than a meditation, but it has some really beautiful meaning to it. So
I know the difference. So,
yeah, it's lovely. So if everyone just wants to get comfortable, and then place your palms on your knees or in your lap, and we're going to be facing them down. Now, normally with meditation, if you're asking to receive something, you'll open your palms up, but this is a visualization. So this is within yourself. So you're going to put your hands down on the palms of your knees, on your palms on your knees. Now I'm going to ask you to look up to a high spot and the wall or ceiling in front of you. And keep your head as straight as possible and just use your eyes to look up. And deep breath in and out. Now close your eyes and continue to breathe smoothly and comfortable. Imagine yourself standing in a dense forest, surrounded by bare trees that stretch towards the sky. It's dark, but a shimmering sapphire glow illuminates the landscape, and the sky is twinkling with stars. You can sense the magic. Feel the crisp air fill your lungs. The earth is delightfully cold on the soles of your feet, but don't worry about stepping on pine needles, pine cones, acorns, or twigs. Your feet were made for the woods. Visualize a path leading you deeper into the woods. Notice the crunch of the leaves under your feet. The air carries the scent of a damp earth and wood smoke. It's so quiet. All you can really hear is your breath, measured and calm. The dried leaves left on bushes that rustle upon a whistling breeze, and the faraway hoot of an owl. As you continue down the path, you notice a flickering golden glow ahead, the smell of burning wood at your nose, and you hear the crackle and pop of a fire. The glow grows brighter as you curiously approach a clearing where you can see a giant Yule fire with flames leaping high into the sky. Feel the warmth on your skin. Let it seep into your bones. You didn't realize until now that you were actually a bit chilly. The warmth feels relieving. You instantly feel the knowledge of your ancestors and remember this fire symbolizes the return of the sun's light and warmth. Notice figures gathering around the fire, adorned in warm, homespun cloths from another time. Their faces glow with the firelight. They gather around you and welcome you with open arms like family, and you know in your heart that they really are. Join them, feeling their camaraderie and warmth. Listen to their stories of the land, the cycles of nature, and the triumph of light over darkness. Now imagine a great horned god a guardian of the wilds and the cycle of life, standing tall over the gathering. His presence embodies strength and protection. You feel secure in every way possible. You feel free to be completely in your body, free to express all your joy, and free to connect with the others without fear. As you bask in the fire's warmth, envision the gods' antlers reaching towards the stars like the bones of the trees. They connect the earthly realm to the celestial, bridging the worlds. You can do the same. Plant your feet into the earth and feel them bud into roots and then penetrate the earth and dig their way deep into the soil to be nourished. Now feel your arms become branches that root into the heavens. You too have become a conduit between worlds. Feel the peace this generates. Take a moment to reflect on the year past, letting go of burdens or shadows. Offer them to the fire, allowing its light to purify and transform them. You could stay here dancing all night, hearing celestial ancestral stories and engaging in deep conversations with your sisters from the past. You feel euphoric and almost tipsy. The fire dies down just as the sun's light pierces through the trees. You feel its energy and warmth nourishing you and recharging you. The earth and all its creatures, as you are all one and the same. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes, carrying the warmth, light, and connection with you, stepping back into your day with renewed hope and balance.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, I almost started crying. Like,
Oh,
having to, that was just so beautiful.
that was
So
so
beautiful.
awesome. Oh my god, I love also what you did with it. You made it so much better.
No, it was lovely. So, before I say goodbye, I just wanted to touch on what you're going to be doing with the fire. And Stevie had told me about this earlier, and I love this that you had come up with this idea to let go of your grievances, and it's just these irksome things that just kind of, grit in us, like they just grit in us. And I just wanted to add to it, like when we were talking about it on Instagram, I just said, there's certain things that we need that would be beneficial. I don't like telling people we need to do things or we should do things, but that would be beneficial to offer up in forgiveness to ourselves for things, you know, for, like for myself, it's like I'm so hard on my body in and how I view it. I'm not kind and loving. I'm not hard on my body as far as how I treat it, but how I speak to it or think of
Yeah,
it, and and forgiving myself for that because
yeah,
some of it's programmed,
mhm.
right? And and so just thinking maybe just adding to the grievances is some forgivenesses, that we need to just write out and then throw into the fire and let go and find freedom from those too. So,
Yeah, yeah, I have
anyways.
that with me. I'm so mean to my boobs.
Yeah, and you see, like, this is the thing. You have beautiful ones. You absolutely do. I'm mean to my thighs, and I always have been. And now I look back and go, what was my problem with my
Yeah,
thighs? They were so beautiful. Now they're not so much, but they're still my thighs, and I'm grateful for
yeah.
them.
They're I get mad because they're just so big, like, the whole 2 bras, and I don't know, it just yeah, and, sometimes I'm like, "Why do I have these?" Is it like, does a peacock ever say, "Why do I have this? This is not helping me survive." Like, could
Yeah.
I from a bear with these things? I don't know.
Right.
You know, sometimes
They're
I wonder, like, if it's like I mean, if they evolved because of sexual attraction, like, was there some, like, guy like Trump who was like, "I like them big, they make me," they, like, increase my status. Like, do I have big boobs for some guy's status? That would really piss me off.
No, no. I say you have big boobs because you have a beautiful, nurturing, and maternal and soft nature about you. And they're just an expression of how I see
Okay.
Stevie's heart. Because
Okay.
you
That's sweet, that's nice.
and you're so feminine, and I mean, and there's nothing, like, the feminine has so many different definitions, but breasts are one of the very atypical, right? But very visual, feminine, and so, you know, I find them beautiful. I was obsessed with them for years. I was obsessed with breasts because I had none. I was like, after I gave birth to my sons and nursed them all, I was like, you know, two sports socks with a tiny penny hanging in the bottom of them. They were like, there was nothing there. So I became obsessed with breasts. Mm. We're gonna just come peace with ourselves. So, anyways, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go now. I think I mean I've got so many different things I've been working on. Um, I think one that you can toss in the fire is my grievance with my Christian upbringing. I want to let it go.
Yes.
I want to be at peace with that and look at what positive things I can be putting into my life and not looking at what things I need to fix or heal from, which that's just always going to be continual. We are a healing, life, right? Like that's just our life cycle is to heal
Yeah.
and grow and everything. But, to just let go of the hurt and the anger and that the grievance of evangelical
Yeah.
Christianity. We'll see if I can do it.
Well,
Toss it in the fire and we'll see where we go.
if you were a product of that past, which you are, then it was a gift because
Mm,
you were you were a gift. So
mm. Thank you, friend. Anyways, I'm sorry to leave you guys, but you guys have a really wonderful rest of the evening without me, and I'll be watching this when it goes on
yeah,
YouTube.
it's
All right.
already 9:53. Oh my gosh. But okay, yes. You happy birthday to Sam, and we will take
Thank
it.
you.
We will
Okay.
take our grievances and our forgivenesses out to the fire. We'll burn them and purify them. And
Perfect. And I will be checking in with Stevie to find out how it all went. And like I said, I'll be watching the rest of this tomorrow or later, or yeah, probably tomorrow when it's up on YouTube. Okay. I love you
okay,
all. Thank you so much for joining us.
bye.
Bye.
So Meredith says that she gets mad about her own procrastination. Oh my God. Yeah, me too. I'm gonna put you down for getting mad at and it's not it's we're not this is just giving grace to yourself. Yes, you procrastinate, and that's just what happens. And it's okay, and you forgive yourself. And but I'll put that in the fire as a way to sort of um, I don't know. Leanne was so much better at this, but to kind of purify that grievance. Does that make sense? I have issues with my ADHD and possibly ASD because I struggle a lot with getting things done, and I struggle with like I struggle with getting things done. Like I have to use a lot of timers, a lot of tricks and stuff like that just to clean the freaking kitchen. And so it could take hours. Um, and then I also get really, really I struggle with that too. So it's like both. It's just and it like it's hard. It's hard not to be able to do like things that are really, really easy for other people. So I'm actually gonna put that down. And I also, get a little snappy, when I get interrupted. Okay, so I've got the procrastination down for Meredith. Does anybody else want me to write anything else down to put in the fire? I don't see the fire yet. I'm wondering if he's struggling, but we're gonna go down there. Oh, thank you, Meredith, for the love. Okay, I have to tell you the truth that like the whole time that we were doing the visualization and stuff, my dogs were putting balls and stuff in my lap and trying to get my attention, like just really distracting. Okay, so plus resentment. Okay, I will write that down too. I also want to write down some. I want to burn in the fire something about it. The division, the general like just hate